Hello dear students, today's lesson is Enlarging Shapes in Mathematics, Book 8. It is a very important subject. Objectives, definition of enlargement, how we enlarge a shape, and exercise 16.2. What's enlarging a shape? Enlarging a shape or an object, it is simply you increase the size of this object and this shape, keeping in consideration that the measurement of the angles will stay the same. They will never change. So where does the change take place? Only on the side of the object or the shape. So for example, if you have this pyramid here, equilateral triangle, the angles are 60, 60, 60. They will stay the same, but the length of the side will be increased. How much I increase the length of the side? It depends on a scale which I shall give you. If the scale is 2 and the length is here 2, so you multiply 2 by 2, then we shall have a pyramid here 4. If I give you a scale 2, if this is also 2, 2 is 4. So this is 4, 4, 4. So the length of the side changed from 2 to 4 because the scale is 2. If the scale is 3 and the length here is 2, so you shall say 3 multiplied by 2 give you 6. So all the sides will be here, all the sides will be 6. So the scale is important to know so that you know how much I shall magnify my sides, my length sides, okay? So that I can make the image. Always I shall give you the object and the scale, you have to find me the image. So as you see here, this is the magnification of twice of this object here. Now we shall see, by the way, here the angles, as you see, 60, 60, 60, he stays 60, 60. The angles did not change. The measure of the angles did not change. It will stay 60 degrees. Only the length, the size of the length, the measure of the length are changed from 2 to 4 according to the scale, but the angles stay the same. So if I ask you, is these two pyramids are congruent? No, they are not congruent. They are only congruent when they have the same angles and the same size of the length, but the size of the length here are not the same. So what I need, this is a grid that you know how I enlarge a shape. Now you need to know the scale factor, which I shall give you. You need to know the center of enlargement. I shall give you this also. So if the center of enlargement is here 0.24, and I shall give you that, the center of enlargement, and I have to give you also the object, and I give you the scale. This is the object and this is the scale too. So you have to find me, now you have to find me the image of this object, which is twice as the object. Why? Because the scale is 2. The scale is 2, that means the image will be twice as much as the object because the scale is 2. So everything will be multiplied by 2. When here the width is 1, so 1 multiplied by 2, 2 in the image. When this length here, this side is 4 squares, you multiply 4 by 2, so it is 8. The image, this side, the corresponding side in the image from this side in the object will be 8 squares because this is 4 squares and I multiplied it by this scale. So but from where? This is important, please. From where I start my enlargement. This is the most important thing in every question. From where I start my enlargement. You take any point. I shall take this point, the one in front of the center of enlargement. This point here, this corner. How much is he far from the center of enlargement? 2 squares. 1, 2. This point is 2 squares, and from here he started to draw this object. So if my scale is 2, I multiply this 2 here by 2. 2 by 2 is 4. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. So from here I start to draw my enlargement image. My enlarged image, okay? From here I shall start to draw my image. This distance, this point is the corresponding point to this one. So if this point is 2 squares away from the center of enlargement, this corresponding point in the image have to be double that distance because the scale is 2. So it's going to be 4 away from the center of enlargement. And then you draw the length, every length only multiplied by 2. So when this is here 4 squares, here is 8 squares because it is. So the most important thing is this point, is where you start to draw your enlargement. okay? And then when I draw these two lines from the center of enlargement, you see they go through the corners, corresponding corners. These are called corresponding corners. This and this and this and this. That means our enlargement is correct, okay? So let us make another example. Exercise 16.2, number 1a, enlarge according to the given scale. Scale is 2. Center of enlargement is here, okay? And then the object. Then I have the object. In the questions, always in such questions, you shall become the center of enlargement and you shall become the scale and the object. You have only to draw the image. Important thing, from where I start to draw the first point in my image. Again, I choose a point on my object. It is 1 square away from center of enlargement. That means I start also my image according to the scale is 1 multiplied by 2, gonna give me 2. So 1, 2 from here. From here I start to draw my image, okay? And then I draw these two lines to see if my enlargement is correct. So the two lines which are passing through the center of enlargement have to go through the corresponding corners. Sorry, this have to be a little bit back, but it goes through the corresponding corners, okay? These lines, if these two lines go through the corresponding corners, this one and this one and this one, that means my enlargement is correct, okay? Do you have another example? Yes, we have another example. Now D, enlarge according to the given scale. Now I have again a scale of 2 and I have center of enlargement here and I have the a triangle, okay? I take this point. As I told you before, important thing is you know from where I start to make my image enlargement. This is the most important thing. If you start wrong with this one, everything will be wrong. So I take a point here, this one, this point, and this point. How far is it from center of enlargement? How far? 2 squares. Okay. How much is scale I have? 2. So 2 times 2, how much? 4. So I go from center of enlargement 1, 2, 3, 4. From here I start to make my enlargement for my image. From here I start to make my enlargement and I double up all the other things. If I have here 3 times 2 is 6. This is 2 times 2, 4. So this is 4. Important thing, from where I start to do my enlargement shape, I think, and then you can check again with these two lines, or this is one line. This is now nice. This line is going through the center of enlargement, and as you see, it goes through the corners, the corresponding corners from object and image. This is the corner in the object and this is the corner in the image. They have to be both of them on this line which is passing through the center. That means your solution is correct. The two corresponding corners in the object and the image, they are lying on the line which is passing through the center of enlargement. Do we have another? Yes, we have now number 1E. Scale of enlargement is 3 and center of enlargement is this one. Again, from where I start to make my enlargement, this is the first thing you have to ask yourself. I take this point here now. This point, how much is far from center of enlargement? 1. Okay, how much scale I have? 3. So 1 times 3, how much? 3. So I go 3 squares away from center of enlargement. 1, 2, 3. From this point, I start to draw my enlargement image, okay, from this point. And then the other things, you know, this one is 2 times 3 is 6. This is 6. This one is 2 times 3 is 6. This is 6. This is 3 times 3 is 9. This is 9 squares. And then you go back. How much is this one? 1 times 3, 3. You go 3, and then you join this diagonal, and it looks perfectly enlarging shape. Important thing, as I told you, from where you start. It's only this is the trick in these questions. The trick is from where I start to enlarge. The others are easy. Only you double up the things according to the scale. If the scale 4, you multiply by 4. If the scale 2, you multiply by 2 so that you find the image length. Okay? Again, we make this line to see if the corresponding, this is the corresponding angle in the object and this is the corresponding angle in the image, and they go through, this line goes through them and through the center of enlargement. That means my enlargement is correct. So I take another example now, number 1H, enlarge according to the given scale. I have scale 3 and I have this object, and center of enlargement is here. Now my object lies exactly off the center of enlargement. That means there is no distance between my object and the center of enlargement. It is 0. There is nothing, no 1, no 2. Okay, so 0 multiplied by 3 is 0. So if my center of enlargement lies on the if my object lies on the center of enlargement, so you start also from the same point, from the same center of enlargement, to draw your image. Okay, how I do that? First, how much is this length? 2. So 2 times 3, how much? 6. So you go from the same center of enlargement 6 down. Okay, 6 down from the same point. Why? Because my object is already on the center of enlargement. So from the same point also I start to draw my image. And this here, this way, how much is 1? So 1 times 3, how much? 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now this one, this I've drawn this now, and I have drawn this. Again, I have to draw this one. This one here is 1 times 3, how much? Is also 3. So I have to draw this one also the same, 3, because this is 1 multiplied by 3 is 3, and now 2 multiplies by 3, how much? 6. 6. And then I'm left up with the diagonal. I don't have to measure it. I only bring this point to the center of enlargement. Or you can do it as exactly the same, because you see how much is this from here to here? 2 squares. Also this is 2 squares. Also this is 2 squares. So this is the enlargement. Okay, and you do also this line to see if the corresponding corners go through the same line. Yes, I see that this corner in my object corresponds to this corner in the image, and they are passing through the same line which passes through the center of enlargement. That means, is my enlargement correct? That means that my enlargement is correct. This line you draw it so that you check your answer. Do we have any other questions? No, thank you very much. I shall upload this as soon as possible with some homeworks. Thank you for your attention.